Well, it's my pleasure to have Ben Jones with me today from Titan Marketer. He has multiple businesses, including this one and also one called Youth in Business. And he's also starting a mining company, if you can believe that. It's kind of neat. And so there's various online marketing strategies today, and he knows a lot about them. But today we're going to talk a little bit about YouTube marketing and why that is different and a good way to go today. So, Ben, welcome to Redeeming Business Today podcast. I'm glad you're with us.
Cool. Well, thank you, David, for having me, and I appreciate all the listeners at Redeeming Business today. And hopefully, we're able to deliver some value to you for your time and attention. And yeah, excited to be here, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. And Ben comes all the way from Australia to visit with us today. Um, so, Ben, what is one way that you believe that we can honor God in our business that other people may not know about?
Other people may not know about. So I guess like I'm just going to talk from the Christian perspective because that's
Yeah.
that's my,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
my particular faith. God is obviously a bigger topic than that, but I think other people may not know about. I think it is a harder one. I can just talk from my own personal experience. I think look, if we can probably two parts. One, center it on some form of Christ-like actions. I think that's probably a massive thing to look at. And the other thing is be willing and open to receive inspiration daily if you can. So I have like a little journal that I write my things in each day, like bigger ideas that I want to achieve, and one of them is always like receive inspiration daily, and that might be like something to do with one of your staff, like hey, this particular staff something's not quite right, book a call with them or whatever it might be, or and you'll be surprised, but when you put that forward in say prayer or like, hey, can I receive some inspiration today? And you don't have to be a set faith to pray and ask for that. I don't think like you don't have to go to church every Sunday or read the Bible or whatever it might be. But I think just the prayer and the asking for of some sort of inspiration daily, you'll be surprised at the opportunities and things that'll come up and might be like, oh, you should ring this person or do that or solve problems and opportunities will arrive. Well, I find anyway in my personal day to day.
Absolutely. And like so many things, you find what you look for. If you look for bad, you're going to find it. If you look for good, you're going to find that too.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, no,
Very
I
good.
think so. So yeah, I mean that's something little that I do, but works really well.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Uh, take a 7 minutes to give us a little background of your journey and how you started into business and where you are today.
Yeah, look, I grew up on a farm, very humble beginnings. I certainly didn't come with a silver spoon or anything like that. And yeah, look, my mum and dad had a rule. It was like you get a degree, or you go to college, university, or you get a trade, or you don't leave home. so so
Okay.
for me, I was quite entrepreneurial as a kid. Like I'd go out door knocking and sell things and grow things and take them to market and whatever. But business was deemed as risky back then. It wasn't really a path that someone took at a young age. So I actually, me and school didn't agree on too many things by the time I was, in the later part of school. Um, so I left there and basically decided to become an electrician, and I did that for a good,
Hmm.
I don't know, decade or more. And but then I had to unlearn all the things about becoming an employee to becoming a business owner, right? Like there's a lot to unlearn and unpack there. And to be honest, I stayed in my job way longer than I should have, in the fear of like not taking that leap, because it was a pretty scary thing. From there, I went and bought a whole bunch of online businesses. That's how I really got started in the online marketing space, and that was really fun. And then we sold. Got to a point. My brother and I did that together. He wanted to go traveling and sell everything and cash out, and he did that. And then I kind of got to the point in my life where I'm like, well, what do I do now? Like, what's the next step? And my son wanted pocket money, and we ended up helping him start a little business where he sold herbs out of the backyard. And then we had heaps of parents ask us how they could do that too, and that's where youth in business kind of grew from.
Okay.
It went from
Neat.
my son selling herbs to a massive thing. So So that was the beginning there of youth in business. That ended up being a massive business. Speaking on stages, 800 people in most capital cities in Australia and the UK, and we sort of wound it down to just an online thing over COVID. But yeah, so I mean that was cool. We had kids literally, become millionaires, buy houses before they're 18, and one of our kids wrote a book on how he made more money than his principal. So I got to write the forward for it. So I think it's that was really cool, and that was probably one of the more rewarding things that we did. But being an entrepreneur, I started other businesses as well while that was running, and that's really where the online marketing side of things came from. So we know Titan Marketer really started out of the necessity of Facebook ads sucking for us. And, if you're running any sort of Meta or Facebook ads, there's going to be a time where you either lose your ad account or your ads get banned, or you just can't grow and scale anymore because it won't let you. And for me, that time came. We were actually, I was heading to China to do some business over there. And that was a time before VPNs existed. So when you went to China back then, there really was no Google and there was no Facebook, or you couldn't check in on anything. And what ended up happening was we had a couple of rooms to fill, and we wanted to spend say $40,000 to $60,000 on marketing, and we'd already bought these rooms for people to come and listen to Youth in Business, and we couldn't fill them because Facebook shut all our accounts down for some ridiculous
Hmm.
reason, which I think is quite common for a lot of people. And my knee-jerk reaction, as most business owners do, is it's like, well, we need to fill these rooms. So, figure out Google. We hired an agency, it was Google and YouTube, and let's see how we go. And internally, we run our own ads too. And I got home, and the cool thing was we actually did better than the agency. So I was like, well,
Hmm.
they're supposed to be the experts here.
Yeah.
And and from there, we basically just people asking me to speak on stages about it and the whole thing, and I was doing that, but we didn't really have a company around it. I was just sort of showing people what was working for us. And fast forward a year or two from there, we formed a consulting company around how to do YouTube and Google ads, and today we have an agency and a whole bunch of things. But these days, we work with all sorts of different businesses. Generated millions of dollars online across just about every industry you could think of. And I speak at international events. People fly me around to speak, and a whole bunch of other things. So it's definitely grown to a point where we have got a lot of social proof, and we get a lot of really cool results. But I think that's kind of the journey. Like that was the journey going through. The mining stuff also happened during COVID. That was another fun fact. We couldn't fly or do anything, so I got into gold prospecting, started a hire company, and acquiring mining leases. So these are the things that happen when you've got massive ADD and you're a serial entrepreneur. So,
You want to dig into something else, literally.
yeah.
So
So that's kind
very
of,
good.
I guess, the quick overview story. Now, it sounds really great when you put it together in a sentence, or like a 5-minute reel, but realistically, there was a lot of drama and things that went wrong along the way, and a lot of prayer and a lot of drama to make it all happen. And I guess, yeah, it's been a really rewarding journey.
Yeah, it's not always. Sometimes you see like these flower gardens around people's homes, and it's like, oh, that's so pretty. I'll go get some flowers. It took a lot of work for that to get there, and that's the same way with business. It's like, oh, I love what you have. I want what you have. I'm gonna go do that, and it's like, oh, it's not the same for every person. Just like every house is different. It's every person's different. Every business is different, and
Yeah.
what worked for you may not work for me, and whatever. So it's trial and error.
Yeah, no, I
But
think so.
God
I
is
think a
good.
lot, a lot of people will say, "Oh man, you're so lucky to, whatever." It's like, well, I think you make your own luck a little bit. So, yeah. So anyway, that was an interesting point, but yeah,
Okay. So tell us about YouTube marketing. Why is that better than Facebook ads right now?
yeah. Look, I think the big difference between YouTube and Facebook marketing is the targeting in particular, and and being able to scale. So if you're wanting better quality leads, YouTube is really the place to go. There They're the same size, Facebook and YouTube, relatively. Like Facebook maybe a little bit bigger during COVID, YouTube was bigger. In terms of daily users, the fun fact is that less than 10% of marketers in the US at the moment are actually using YouTube, whereas over 90% of marketers in the US are using Facebook or Meta ads, right? Now they're a similar size. So the cool thing is YouTube ads or Google ads will literally give you $500 when you spend your first $500 with Google or YouTube ads. And I think that they want people to come on their platform, right? So that's the difference. I think the maturity of the platform is different. Now, if we go back maybe 12 years, Facebook was handing out $75 to come and join Facebook ads, right? When was the last time Facebook ever gave or Meta gave anyone $70 to come advertise on their platform, right? Like this is not a happening thing. And I think the main thing is, all these things are on an adoption curve. So in 12 years ago, Facebook was like the easiest thing to grow your business with. You go back 10 years before that, like Google search ads or PPC ads were super cheap, like cents for a click. And now they're the most expensive platform out there. 10 years prior to that, we're in the 90s. Email marketing was the big thing. Hardly anyone was doing it. And I think the analogy I use is that's where YouTube is today. And it's not going to stay there forever, but it is a massive opportunity at the moment. But you go fast forward 10 years and maybe TikTok's figured out its targeting and all the rest of it. And now YouTube ads are super expensive, and that's the new thing, right? So I'm certainly not loyal to YouTube ads in any way. It's just the thing that's the big opportunity and working really well at the moment. I mean, that's one difference. The other big difference is, the targeting is so much better. If you were to compare the targeting of YouTube and Facebook, man, it'd be like Godzilla versus Bambi, and Facebook is not the Godzilla in this equation.
Okay.
And the real reason for that is you can target people based on income. So let's say, Google knows everything about you, right? Let's be real. It knows, what you watch on YouTube. It knows what you're searching on Google. It knows your location from your phone. It knows all the emails that are in your Gmail, all your browser history. Like, it knows more about you than probably your wife or your spouse, right? So for it to say, we think you're in a certain income band, it's actually pretty accurate. So the cool thing is you can be like, well, I want to target my stuff to the top 30% income owners, which is great because it takes away the biggest objection in the sales process is like, hey, I love your stuff, but I just can't afford it. So the quality of lead is better from that perspective. And the other side is, instead of just having like general interest targeting like you have on Facebook, where and that's amazing. Like on Facebook, you can target people who, let's say you want to target a mum with, I don't know, 2 or 3 kids who really likes surfing, chocolate, and cats, and really wants to have a cake for her birthday that has, a chocolate surfboard with a cat on it. You could literally target people just on that, right? Now that's amazing. Now the other thing, like you could do the same thing on YouTube, but you can now target people who have, let's say, a cake costs $500. The top 10 or 20% of income owners, because you know that they're the only person buying a $500 cake. But you can also target people who are searching for, chocolate cat surfboard cakes, for example. So that's another big difference of YouTube ads versus Facebook ads. The targeting and the quality of the traffic is way better. So.
Okay. So what does marketing on YouTube look like? Is that all the little ads, video ads you see, or are there other things there too?
Man, there's so many things you can do advertising on YouTube. So I think that, there are probably a couple of different camps. So one is what we would call like long form ads. They might go for like a minute or a couple of minutes, usually under 3 minutes is kind of the cap. And they're the ads that we call them preview, like pre-roll ads. When you're watching YouTube, you've got the 5 seconds to skip. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. 5 seconds to get your point across, don't you?
Yeah. So you've got like the hook, that what you say in those first 5 seconds is super important. And so they're kind of your longer form video ads, and they work really, really well. Traditionally, they were kind of like the gold standard of YouTube advertising. This year, however, with the, they brought out demand gen campaigns and YouTube Shorts and all of that, the shorter ads can work really well too. Okay. Bear in mind that you're going to have to get to the point. But I think the cool thing is you have to deliver some value in the ad or help people in some way, because there's a big difference between Facebook and YouTube ads. Facebook ads have to be interruptive and salesy. YouTube ads, because they do, man. People are like looking at like what people had for breakfast and whatever, and like
Yeah.
you need to interrupt that. Whereas on YouTube, people are at YouTube for a different thing. They're there to be entertained or educated, right? So you need to have an ad
Hmm.
that delivers value that's not so salesy. Anyway, and so the cool thing you can now do is you can now do image ads on YouTube, and you can do so you don't have to create videos, which is amazing. And the other thing you can do is like the shorter form ads, because people who are flipping through YouTube Shorts are used to shorter content, right? Whereas people who are watching a 10-minute long form YouTube videos they're used to longer form ads. So there's kind of um,
Gotcha.
two sides of YouTube advertising now. Whereas maybe 12 to 18 months ago, there really wasn't the short form on the image side to really play too much. So
Hmm. Okay. So if I wanted to advertise on YouTube, what would be my first steps of doing that?
first steps. So we actually had a look at the most, like what is the most profitable in terms of return on ad spend. So if you're going to spend $1, what's the most profitable targeting to do on YouTube? And what sort of ad would you need? So the most profitable one is to go and target your competitors' URLs or websites, which is pretty cool. So let's say you pick your top 5 competitors. You just go grab their exact website address, put it into YouTube ads, and then anyone who visits your competitor's website, you show ads to. So we call it ethically stealing your competitor's traffic. I did like some training on it, whatever. Had it on my whiteboard, and my son comes at the bottom. He's like, "Not keeping the commandments." And I was like, no, it's ethically stealing. That's just a play on words. He goes, you shouldn't be stealing things. I'm like, I'm not stealing. So anyway, you're not actually stealing for those listening. It's just a clever way of targeting. So that works really well, because the people who are going there are already, looking for a service like yours, right? They're already in that shopping mindset. So we find that, and not a lot of people know about it. So it works really well. So that would be my pro tip. If you were to target things like softwares, like let's say you want to go against people who use HubSpot or ClickFunnels, like put the login page instead of the sales page so you get the users of that particular thing. That's another pro tip. So I'd probably start there. Like if I had to build one campaign, it would be that. And then I would create an ad around, what it is that they're looking for that delivers some value, whether it's a longer one and some shorter one and some image ads, and you'd pretty much be good to go. So
So when you say they click their URL, is there like a place to say if whoever's searching this, that's who the ads are going to? Is that the point of
yeah,
that?
so they're probably two
Okay.
things. So like if you're searching a particular keyword, like how to thing you offer, that sort of targeting would be someone who's searching those keywords on Google. You want it when the next time they go onto YouTube, you want to show them your YouTube ad. Okay, so a lot of people will be running like PPC ads or Google search ads, for example. And then they come over to YouTube and find that, the cost per lead is like half, or at least 30% better. And the cool thing is um, they're a better quality lead because I've watched a video. So that's one form of targeting. The other one is if people are looking for a particular URL, most of the websites out there have Google Analytics on it. Plus they have, the Chrome browser, so which Google has all that information. So they know who's going where. Now, Google doesn't say, or YouTube ads doesn't say, every single person who's visiting this landing page you're going to see. They kind of put it in a bit of some mysterious language, like users who visit sites like this. But pretty much it's pretty accurate. And we know that because we actually, like for the lead gen that come in, we actually get a lot of people who, like, we record all their sales calls, and we'll literally get like, hey, I was looking for this particular company, but saw you and you popped up. So like we know that it definitely works, right? Um,
We knew that you're looking for them. We just thanks for confirming.
yeah. So if you'd like to, you know, literally ethically just take the traffic straight from there and put it over to you, it's a really cool way of doing it. So I super suggest that one. But that's how it kind of works, if that makes sense, David.
Interesting. It looks like there's a lot of I can see your brain and just there's
That's
a
that's so
lot of cool things to work with. So
Yeah.
But how can my audience find out more about you or take steps to work with you if they so chose?
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, we have a lot of free training and things if that's something that you wanted to have a play around with first. Just check out titanmarketer.com. Like, it's Titan Marketer ER. It's not Titan Marketing. So, Titan Marketer. So if you head over there, there's some cool training and things. If you wanted to book a call where someone can walk you through how, if your ads would be profitable on YouTube, that's something that we do. Other than that, if you wanted to reach out to me on, say, LinkedIn or Instagram, you may need to look up Benjamin Jones instead of Ben Jones. It's a it's a very common name, Ben Jones. There's like a bajillion of us out there. So, but yeah, so Titan Marketer might be your best bet, or if you find me on Insta or LinkedIn, that's a great place. Other than that, like, I think wish you guys all the best, and yeah, it's been fun being here.
All right. Very good. And one more thing before we close. You've talked a lot about marketing with YouTube. What is one thing you'd like our audience to take away from this and take action on?
I think, look, just give YouTube ads a go. Like, literally, like, probably two things. One, you can get started, and they'll literally give you $500 on your first $1,000 to get started. So just get started. Like, you've got nothing to lose, for getting out there and giving it a shot. So I definitely, particularly if you're running Facebook ads and you're dealing with, the revenue roller coaster over there. Um, it's a fun place to be in terms of targeting the things that you could do. What you could do on Facebook a decade ago, plus heaps of other cool fun things you can play around with. So go check that
Mm.
out. And I think the other one, David, if I can, just at the end, is coming back to the thing that we talked about before, of like maybe seeking to receive inspiration daily, on your business, and maybe asking for the things that you require, and putting a bit more faith into your business and seeing where that will take you.
Sounds good. Very good. Well, I know you talked a bit about youth and business, and it'd be fun to talk to you a little bit more about that, but not today. We've kind of run out of time.
That's cool.
Thank you for your time, sharing your expertise and knowledge, Ben. Appreciate it. And friends, that's all for now. I hope trust you've been inspired to redeem your business and your time, and use it to re- basically use your time in business to glorify God in what you do. And remember that time has limits. You can't do everything, and so choose wisely.